This is a Ben Frank Connection presentation.
Guys, we are here and live with the ABJ Podcast. I can see Dante in the back popping for that. That was awesome. But we are here and live with the ABJ Podcast, episode 124 with Dante Elizabeth James, the greatest social media influencer on the planet. And they just so happen to be from the greatest place on earth, and that's Northeast Pennsylvania, where your boy ABJ is also from. So we are here, we're live. Make sure you guys check the links below for all things ABJ, as well as my guest tonight, to find them on all social media, everywhere that they got a lot going on. They got merchandise, like we're very one and the same, and I can't wait to pick their brain about how they go about things and do things. And I'm very, very pumped. The chat, I'm going to say right now, I'm nervous as hell, so I'm going to say that right off the bat. This is the biggest live stream I've ever had as a content creator, as any of that. So all of you coming in and showing that support is a beautiful thing, because that is the goals I would love to do, to build a community as well of just really like-minded, amazing people. Let's not waste any more time here. I'll get all the plugs and stuff out going later on, but let's have some fun. Let's bring in our guest today, Dante. What's going on,
guys?
I took the catchphrase a little bit.
I love it. You did great.
Thank you. I tried so much. Yeah. So I want to kind of go back to where we met, right? So
okay.
I was a fan of the TV show on Netflix, Big Mouth.
Okay.
And there was and I was on TikTok, and when the contest, or not the contest, but the trend was going of who can do Lola's voice was going, there was two content creators who I thought did it perfectly, and I don't remember the other one. But she always had her hair up, black hair. I forget who she was, but she always did it in her car, but had like, you guys were very similar, like where you do the voice and then laugh and break while you do it. Like it was very, it just was good. It was just very natural. And I just remember like, that's so fucking funny. And I would laugh every time I see it. And then I followed you. So then we go to a drag show, and you're in the crowd, and I'm like, where do I know them from?
Yeah,
are they from, do we work together? I think I came up to you, I was like, did you work at American Eagle? Like, cause that was like, that's where I was for a long time. You're like, no. And I was like, oh, all right, whatever. And I walked away. Like, and then like next show I'm there, and we're hanging out again. And I before the show happened, I'm with Lily, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm on TikTok, and I scroll through, and you pop up on the For You page. And I was like, oh my God, that's Dante. We go to the show. I'm like, I've been following you for years. I didn't know you lived in the area where you're from. And we hit it off, and we've been talking ever since.
Everyone's so shocked that I'm from Pennsylvania. I think that is the craziest thing. They're like, oh my God, I didn't know you were from Pennsylvania. I'm a proud Pennsylvanian, baby. Pennsylvania all day. I love living here. I'm very, very proud. I don't think there would be anywhere else I'd want to live. But going back to what you were saying, is I remember seeing you around like throughout the years, like seeing you here or there or something like that. I always remembered your face. I remember people's faces. Names, don't even bother. Don't even bother. If I see your face, I know who you are. But I remember seeing you throughout, and then I remember seeing you at the drag show. Yes.
Yeah, I was a kitten. I was a kitten that night. I was collecting money. That was my job. But yeah, it's I think one of the things in Northeast PA is it's very charming here, but it is very sometimes it can be very bland. Everyone is like that unseasoned food. And then when people come up with a little bit of charisma or pizzazz like we do, we stand out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You much more than me, but we stand out. Yeah. Now, have you always been from this part of PA? I know you said a few times in your live that you have moved around a little bit and been different places.
Well, I grew up in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, and then I went to Did I live in Pittston? I think I lived in Pittston before I went to college. So I lived in Pittston for maybe a year or two. and then moved down to Philadelphia for a year for college, and then moved back. And then I've been here ever since.
So the person we know and see as Dante, we were kind of talking behind the scenes of growing up in Northeast Pennsylvania, especially in the Hazleton, School County, Luzerne area. It's very, we'll say it's bland. People aren't very seasoned yet. We're not very cultured. We're not very open to a lot of things right away. And it took us a long time to catch up. I think we are getting a lot better. I don't think there's hate in Northeast Pennsylvania, which it gets a lot. But I think once people step out of their comfort zone, they open up more to different ideas.
I could 110% agree with what you just said. I think it's gotten better 110%. But I also don't know if that changed in my mind that it got better because I just started being myself and not caring and blah, 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 blah. I don't know if I just noticed it more when I cared or not that when I started not caring. But you are right with that. I think we've gotten a lot better. And that's why I love living here is I love the people. I love it. I think everyone's pretty nice. You know, it's a pretty quiet place, you know, for the most part. And I just and it's beautiful. I remember I went to go visit my mom in Delaware and I was like, where are all the mountains? Like, what do you look at here? You know? And then when I came back home to the mountains, I was like, oh my God, I feel safe. Like I love Pennsylvania. But yes, I do.
It's one of those places where you hear sometimes people get around each other and they get comfortable and they say silly things, but they don't necessarily mean it. It's just kind of that they're kind of sometimes still stuck in the early 90s, 2000s where things were kind of socially accepted. But it was also a thing where if your car's broke down on the side of the road, you'll have 16 people who pull over behind you and be like, do you need help? Do you need gum? I'll change a tire for you. You're like, oh, this is great. You know what I mean? But when did you fully embrace your style, your look, and who you are? Or was it something that you had to hide for a while because of the way culture was?
Well, I think in high school, I was more myself. I was really, I mean, up until college. And then I think probably, I mean, not to get into it too early, but probably when I started drinking like heavily is when I lost myself. Yeah. I kind of started dressing more plainly, trying to blend in more, trying to like stuff like that. And I really lost myself. And then the moment I got sober, it was like, so like all through those years, probably like, I want to say like a 10th or 11th grade in high school, I started like more branching out and being myself and wearing crazy clothes and all of that. And then I think, again, when I moved back, I kind of went a little nuts. And then after I went a little nuts, I kind of like was drinking still, but doled myself down to kind of like, so I was kind of self-loathing a bit. So then when I stopped drinking, I was like, I'm just going to live my life for me. Like, I'm just going to be who I want. I'm going to dress how I want. I'm going to be as loud as I want. I'm going to grow my hair out. I'm going to wear makeup. And I wore makeup when I was younger, but like I stopped for a while there because I was like, I don't know, it was just a weird time. And that was really it. And now I'm just unapologetically myself, and I'm grateful for it every day because it took me a long time to get back to who I was. You know what I mean? It was a wild journey.
And honestly, for me, as seeing you as a content person or just a person in general, I don't want to keep putting the box of a content person on you, but obviously you are like, you do have a social media influence. And I think, and honestly, like your goals for me when it comes to how you want to be as a social media person. So when I got into the podcasting game, I wanted to be like Kevin Smith. I wanted to be that guy who I sold all of my nerdy collectibles to buy my camera so I can chase my dream of talking to people and hearing their stories. But I always had that thing, like growing up, I loved emo music. I always wanted long hair. I was a pro wrestling fan, but like I had a graduating class of 50 kids. If I grew my hair out, I'm fighting every day. I did whatever I could to hide so I didn't get in those fights or confrontations. And then like, as I get old, like I still to this day as an adult, I struggle of trying to like where I'm like, I want to go and let my inhibitions down and go have fun and do what I want to do. And that's what resonates with me is like what I respect so much of you is how you're just unapologetically you. And I think that's so why we have 100 and some people watching tonight is because
hi guys
because you have that ability to be unapologetically you. And I think people feel that energy and feel that aura of you and just it inspires them to be better people.
And that's why I do it. That's honestly why I do it, because I life's too short. It feels so long. It really and truly does. When you're in the present moment, you're like, oh God, here we have to wake up again, and like all this stuff, but in all reality, tomorrow is gonna come no matter what. And when I say this all the time, and 100 of people in this chat could attest to this. When I'm 80 some years old, if I make it till then, I'm really honestly, I'm trying. I'm trying to be up out of this bitch. I want to be when I have to wear a diaper. I'm done. I'm good.
Old yeller me if I get to that point. Take me out back.
I'm gonna out old yeller myself. But no, I don't want to be that old person that looks back and is like, where did the time go and what did I do with that time?
Yes.
You know what I mean? That scares me more than a lot of things. That scares me more than what people think of me, than what people want to judge me as. All that scares me more than these strangers, weirdos. I never put someone whose opinion I don't care about. I don't ever put their opinion above my own, or what they think of me above what I think of myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? My opinion of me is more important than their opinion of me. You get what I mean?
If I get old enough where I just stop caring in that aspect, I'm stealing. I'm not paying for anything ever again. I'm breaking so many laws. I'm gonna be that 80-year-old. Do we put them in jail? I'm not gonna hurt anybody, but I'm stealing everything. I'm sorry, I'm old. I didn't know.
I want to go full blown basket case. I think that's. I want to embrace that and just not care. Just pee wherever I want. And just again steal things. Walk in somewhere and be like, oh my God, and play that old person, oh, I don't know where I am. I'm so confused. I'm excited for that. I'm not excited for it, but I mean, if I make it that far, God willing.
So when did you enter the world of content creating and TikTok and stuff like that? Because actually, before I answer that, this is where we have. I'm not a political person. I don't get into that stuff. But we are in a world right now where there is a situation where TikTok can go away. It can end tomorrow, the way legislation's going. And my personal opinion is, I think if it does, I think the reason it did is not because what they're saying it is because I think TikTok is legit a face-to-face communication to communication. There's no misinterpretation through texting or typing or reading a comment thread. It is 100% interaction face to face. And I think people who thought so differently are having that face-to-face interaction and realizing they're seeing the humanity in each other. And we're finding out who the real enemy are. It's so punk rock. I love it. But we're finding out who the real enemies are and where we're going wrong. And it's so much, it's breaking divides. TikTok was that app where you're like, is it creepy because kids are dancing and there's adults dancing? And now it's no, this is a place where people, because the algorithm is so good, it puts you where you need to be and where you want to be, and you don't get a lot of nonsense. Where it's a comfort zone for people, and people have created businesses. People have created lifestyles. It has helped small business so much. But how did you enter that world? Were you always a TikTok person? Were you doing this content thing beforehand?
Well, let me, before I start that, say I think TikTok, and I don't mean to sound corny, but maybe I do, but the TikTok is really the what did they used to call the internet, the information superhighway?
Yes.
TikTok is legit one of those minute trains. It's not even a highway. It's one of those bullet trains, because it's something happens, everybody know everybody knows that. It is unbelievable. But one thing I actually had two friends that were on YouTube, and they started their YouTube journey, started filming, and I was watching them the one day, and it's something I always wanted to do. I was like, oh my God, I watched, of course, all the YouTubers and all of that will watch their videos, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do that. And then the one day I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I think it was Thanksgiving of 2019. Wow. And I did my makeup, and for Thanksgiving dinner. And then I did a second video right after that. So I had one to post the next day, and it was me doing my hair. And because I saw my friends doing it, and I was like, well, they seem so, it seems so easy to them. Like, why can't I? If they could do it, I could do it. You know, like I could definitely do this. And then I just started there, and I always thought, like, you know, some people are good at painting, some people are good at instruments, some people are good at this, some people are that. The only thing I'm good at is being myself. Like it's the only thing.
You're a master at it.
I only have myself to sell. Like that's all I have is myself. I'm a prostitute. No, I gave that up long ago. But I thought that I'm a master. Wait, what's that saying? I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. You know,
Yes.
I'm okay at painting. I'm okay at this. I'm okay at that. And I could probably be better, but also I can't focus. So what else am I better at? I'm best at being myself. Growing up, everyone told me, Dante, you belong on SNL. Dante, you are so funny. Oh my gosh, you should be on all that. You should be this. Because I was always
Dodge that bullet. Dodge that bullet.
Oh.
Yikes. Yikes.
Those poor, I mean,
dude, I wanted to be an all that kid so
oh
bad.
my God, who didn't?
Yeah.
I wanted to be Amanda Bynes. I really want, I love it. And I made a TikTok about this a couple weeks ago. I love Amanda. I loved when I was younger. I love her now. I'm Amanda Bynes' number one fan. If there's one fan, it's me. And ever since I was little, I always looked up to her, and she always reminded me of Lucille Ball. And I loved Lucy. Oh my God. And you know, so but anyway, so then I just started making videos, and it was, you know, I was making videos every week, twice a week, and then slowly TikTok came around. And to be honest with you, I didn't understand it at first because I was so used to doing long form content. Like I was so used to, I'm like, how do you fit all this into 15 seconds or a minute? And I remember I was
dancing. I'm not going on.
Well, no, even like talking or anything, like how do you fit all you want to say into a minute? I really struggled with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on it a little bit and kind of like fell off of it. And then it was actually, to be honest with you, it was the first week of the pandemic. And I downloaded it because I was bored. I was home. No one worked, anything like that. JB still had work, but I didn't have work. So I downloaded it and started like messing around with it. And then that's when I started going on that journey of that. But I really, because at that time I was vlogging every day. I vlogged for a year of my first year of sobriety. So I vlogged every single day of my sobriety. And I didn't really jump into TikTok because I was already doing that. So it was kind of like, I didn't really get on TikTok till that year was up because I needed a break from that year of vlogging. So I kind of jumped onto TikTok to have some fun and kind of like, you know what I mean? Because it got towards the end of vlogging every single day, I was just burnt out. Like I was just like putting a camera in your face and vlogging every single day. And then you sit there and you edit it. So you're re-watching your whole entire day and like editing every little piece and every little part. And by the end there, I was just like, I need a break. So then I jumped on TikTok to have some fun. And here I am.
I got rid of editing probably 2 years into my content creating because I was just like, I'm very Beatles, right? Like Beatles walked into Abbey Road, they recorded on really low budget, shitty equipment, and they're like, there's imperfections in this, and like, leave it. That's who we are. We are our imperfections. And then music and entertainment and culture all got to this point of just like everyone has to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where people played characters online, and if you wanted to be if you wanted to get popular on the internet, you had to be a character. You had to be something that wasn't you. And I really think the pandemic entered an age of content creators that like gave me hope to be this, because I think people are desperately seeking out authenticity.
Yes, 100%.
And I think that's where you shine. You are the most authentic person. Like it really is. And I have seen you outside of the camera, and when I seen you in person, you are like kind of quiet and to yourself until you're comfortable and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's a cool. I'm not saying that you're not this person all the time, but it is interesting to see that other dynamic where you're just like, I'm in my zone. I want to vibe. I'm in public type deal. Like, you didn't come and tell me you were a content person. I had to come to you.
No, I don't know. Well, I don't brag about that. I don't brag about that. I'm not like, hey, guess how many followers I have, or anything like that. I don't talk about, I don't like to talk about that. And also I'm quiet like that because also I respect people and their spaces. I'm not the only one in the room. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I'm loud and I have a loud laugh and I could be loud and all that. But when I'm in a public space, I respect everybody in that space. Unless everybody's cheering and being loud, then I'm just kind of chilling until I, like you said, until I get comfortable. And then I'll be loud and stuff like that. But if I'm walking through the... Oh yeah. Well,
once I get comfortable and I let that go, I'm taking over the room.
Well, I'm also not in Walmart like, guys, I woke up again. You know, when I'm in public, I respect everybody around me because I could be a loud motherfucker. I mean, I've had people that have come up to me in Walmart and said, I knew you were here because I heard your laugh. Like, so I could be loud, but also I want to respect everybody and I want to, you know, and the world doesn't revolve around me. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I'm famous. I don't talk like I'm famous. I don't even like the word famous. I don't like any of that. I just want to have fun. Community, yes.
Yeah, I said I want to build a community. I don't have fans. I supporters is still kind of like a tricky one for me. So the joke is I have a Discord, and Discord is where if I'm not on camera, that's where I can be myself, but still give myself to my people and be there, and we can all talk about things we're into, or someone can go there and I'll kind of lead into my next question of like if they're having a bad day or I'm having a bad day where I have to feel like I'm on point on my camera, but when I go to my Discord, I go there and I'm like, yo, I'm not having a good mental health day. Like I'm struggling. I'm chasing this dream. I want to be this person. I want to build a community that I have enough influence that I can help other people. Cause that's what I want to be as a content creator. I want to be like, I found this really talented person in their field, in their industry, and I think they need more attention because, and that's a sense
spotlight them
and spotlight them. Yes. Like I want to use my street cred or my clout to help other people hit their goals or getting people to that next level. But when you're making content, like I haven't seen the early days, but when you were going through sobriety and stuff, and all I see is what you do now, where you joke around, where you have like your angry face, or you're like you wake up and your hair's not perfect, or everything's the way it is.
I love it.
Do you have moments as a content creator where like, I'm sad today, or I'm not having a good day? Do you go on camera and let your audience see that side of you, or do you like?
No, I don't, because I have to say I love what I do. I love filming. If I'm having a bad day away from me, and yes, sometimes I'm not in the mood, but I'm also someone that retreats. So when I'm upset or sad or depressed, or I'm a Cancer, so I get in my shell and I'm just in my shell and I need to like chill and do. And this is what I tell my followers, all of that. I say to them, I take that moment for myself. I do what makes me happy. I'll go take a bath. I'll eat junk food. I'll get stoned. You know, like I'll do what I need to do. And then tomorrow I wake up and try again. I don't show those sad parts and all of that because, to be honest with you, and I'm not saying this like I don't have them, but I don't have many. Do I have doubts sometimes? Oh my God, of course, 100%. Sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I doing here? Like, oh my God, you know, like I'll have those like, or am I doing this right? Or am I doing that right? Or am I making them happy? Am I making them laugh? Am I putting out enough content? I have those moments, but in like down moments, I use my filming and being creative to get me out of that, like to get me out of that mood, because I look forward to it. I wake up every day and I'm like, what am I filming today? What do I want to joke about? What do I want to talk about? What do I want to, it's what gets me up in the morning. So when I have those down times, I kind of just chill to myself. I chill to myself. I have a really close group of friends that I have to talk to. I have a wonderful family. I have GB, you know, so those are kind of the people I go to when I'm down or sad or scared or need to talk, or they're my support system. You know, I don't want to put that on my followers or my community or anything like that. I don't want to, I want to make them laugh. I want to make them happy. I want to make them smile. That's my mission in life. That's another reason why I vlogged my first year of sobriety, because that's my mission is to spread love, kindness, and laughter. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I'm not here. I don't want to really get in the mix of negativity. Someone said to me a couple of weeks ago in one of my lives, Dante, you know what you need to do? You need to get in some drama. I'm like, I don't want to be in drama. I'm good on that.
I find myself in it, but also I am a Northeast coal region boy who's 37 years old, who grew up insanely toxic masculine, and I'm trying to learn myself in today's society. But also I do give some of my emotions out because I grew up in a time where not just a straight, but I just do that as a joke, but like as an Italian Irish kid from Northeast Pennsylvania, like you're crying right now, like how dare, like, and I think it's good for men to showcase that, and it's okay to let your inhibitions down and don't bottle them up, because I mean, we grew up where we grew up. Like how many times have we don't have people around us anymore because of they either took their own lives or went down a path of negativity with drugs and alcohol, because in this area where we grew up there's not a lot of resources or outlets to do things. And that's kind of what I want to slip into this, go into this, yeah, we got people mother stripping now. Meow.
I'm hot, and I'm gonna put this jacket back on because the back of my back is drenched. It is drenched, and my extensions are gonna get all messed up. So I'm putting it back on, and I'm just gonna sweat. I'm just gonna.
ABJ's making Dante hot. Let's get it. I love the hitting. All right, so real quick before I get back,
go ahead.
When you do your video, yeah, the videos where people are hitting on you in the comments, and you're like, guy, I fucking they're my favorite ones. Like when you do those, they're like when you're in like the grocery store and you're like, guys, I'm like I die from those. They're my favorite.
Those, I have to say, those are I love filming those because they're so funny, because it's so easy to just like, stop, guys, like stop. And then I love it. Someone said several videos ago, someone said, are you supposed to be Juliette Lewis from The Other Sister? I was like, no.
So before the podcast started, I was nervous. Like I was nervous because I looked at the comment section and stuff like, oh my God, this is blowing up. And I was like, I got to listen to music, calm myself down. And I put on She Talks to Angels. And Liz was like, why? I'm like, because I'm about to talk to an angel. And I was like, if I tell that to Dante, like, it reminded me of that skit. But I don't know. I listen to sad music sometimes to boost myself up. I'm the opposite. I'm weird. I don't know. I listen to sad, depressing music to bring myself up. I'm strange. But anyway, when it comes to sobriety,
works for you.
Yeah, sobriety in Northeast Pennsylvania in this area is tough, because the only place you can go and be social are bars, are clubs, are those things, and that's the only place we can go to kind of be around people we care about and express yourself, or go listen to music, or go see a band. How did you is that something? Oh, first off, I don't know if that's something you're into. Are you a club or a local bar scene or anything like that?
I was. Yes. I was. Yes. Yes. I don't know how much more to emphasize that. Yes, I loved going to the bar. I at one point had a schedule going to the bar. I'd go on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Like I had a schedule, and then if I wasn't at that bar on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, then I was at a different bar on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. You know what I mean? Or someone's house, or a party, or
yeah. When you were going through sobriety, was it hard to step away from being social because those places could have been triggering things for you?
No, because one thing I realized, I am very, very lucky for I have a great group of friends. I am very, very lucky to have a wonderful group of friends, and a great support system in my family. You know, you come to a realization at some point in your sobriety, and it's hard for some people. It was a little hard for me, but once I realized it, I was like, oh, okay. It wasn't. Let me put it this way. If you're asking me, like, was it hard for me to be social by not drinking? No, because I have friends over my house. You know, we have dinner with our friends all the time. You know, our house is a big gathering house, which I'd love to have you guys over sometime. Love to. But it's a big gathering house. So my friends are constantly here in the summer, in, you know, every week, me, JB and I and our two girlfriends have dinner every week and watch a movie or go out or do stuff. So it's kind of like, and that was one thing too, like my core group of friends that I have, like a couple of them don't drink and never have. You know what I mean? So, and even the ones that do, it doesn't bother me or anything. So, and I don't mind going to a bar. Alcohol doesn't bother me. I could be around it. It almost killed me. The last thing I want to do is touch it again. You get what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I got so turned off to it where it's to the point I'm not sitting here like this. I'm like, oh, like it scares me. So, no, I wouldn't say, but I know it's also not that easy for other people. I understand it. I am so, it's weird to say, but I am so lucky in my sobriety that it was so easy for me to get sober, stay sober, and transition. You know what I mean? It was very easy for me to transition. And I know it's not for other people. And that's like, you know, that's the thing that sucks. Is one thing also that you learn in sobriety is that you can't save everybody. You can't, and people come to me for advice all the time that help me, you know. You can't say it because one thing with alcoholism, it always starts with it starts with the person. I could tell you my story, what I did, how I did it. I don't suggest going to the hospital, but you can if you want. But it all starts with you. And guess what? Your journey is going to be different than mine. You know what I mean? You might struggle not being able to go to the bars, go to the restaurant, you know, you might, and you just have to be prepared for that. But it's easier to get through it than you think instead of turning back to that, if that makes any sense. Like, I'd rather go through walking in a bar again and being comfortable than going back to drinking.
Yeah.
You know.
I've never had to go through sobriety. Like I do drink, but I'm the type of person, I like to get to that nice buzz and then I stop. I don't like to feel drunk. So I just get to that nice, easy spot. By the way, this has really been popping me here. The DGE or DEJ and ABJ. I love, as the pro wrestling fan of me loves the acronyms.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But I feel like a lot of people, like, being social is a huge trigger to people, and like it's something that people crave because they want to be around the people they care about. But then when all of their friends are like, let's go get drunk, they're like, oh man, I love you guys, but I have to figure myself out before I come back, and then they fall back into that trap again.
Well, one thing I have to say is I'm not a social person. I don't like people. And that's why I drank. That's why I drank, to be more social, to talk, to be drunk, to get that liquid courage, to all of that. And I think that's another reason why it was so easy for me to transition, because I'm an introvert extrovert. So like I can sit home, but also I like to go out, but then also I like to be home, but then I also like to go out. Like I'm also like empathic. So when I'm around a lot of people, it like drains me. It's very like, I get very freaked out, you know? So it was easy for me to transition because then I was just home. I was doing, you know, just things I liked. I wasn't going and wasting money at a bar or driving drunk or, you know, any of those things. So it was kind of like an easy, I kind of, when I first got sober, it was, to me, like, I don't have a choice. Like, I have to get sober and I have to stay sober. You know what I mean? Like, or I'm going to die. So it was kind of like, I didn't have a choice. Like I that's what I thought in my head. Like, well, shit, well, if I keep doing it, I'm going to die. If I don't do it, I could live and make the best of my life. Which one do I want to do? You know? And it was kind of like, and I laid in the hospital bed that night and I was like, I'm not ready to go yet. Like, is that all I accomplished? That's it? I'm leaving this world a drunk? No, I want to leave this world inspiring people and helping people and making people laugh. I don't want to leave this world crying at my kitchen table, like drunk. Like, oh my God. Like
that's for Legos, all right?
Yes. And then after that hyperfixation, it'll be something else.
I want Legos so bad. But the problem is I don't have a lot of space. So there's a lot going on in my personal life where I had to move back home, 16-year relationship, down the tubes, the whole nine. But I want one of those huge sets. Like, I want to build like Disney Castle or Hogwarts or something insane.
Yes.
But I'm like, where do you put it when
I
you're
know.
done?
Anthony, I'm the same way. They have a Hocus Pocus one. I want it so bad. And I'm like, where would I put that? I have I have enough stuff. Okay. Like and it's funny because every time I get rid of stuff, I get more stuff. So it's kind of like it's just a recycling of trash all the time. But no, I completely agree. Where would I put something like that?
The
Like
Titanic one I seen online is massive. It's like 6.5 feet long. Where do you put it? It'd be awesome to build.
Or even those Star Wars ones, the Star Wars ones they have where it's like the giant where do you put something like that? Like that, you have to have a whole, like you have to, like, that's one thing I think you have to be really into Legos to do those ones and keep them and like display them. You know, I don't think just some regular Lego person like you or I, some peasant Lego person is going to buy that, put it together and then like have the room for it. Those people have rooms dedicated to their Legos.
It's bonkers.
If you're buying something like that, you already have a designated spot for it. Okay.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like, do I take it apart? And then if I do I have to put it, how do you follow the instructions again? You're going through 8,000 pieces. Like it makes me,
and they're bad for the environment.
Yeah, they're really bad for the, but I love them.
I'm contributing. I'm contributing. I'm sorry. I'm contributing to it with my Lego flower.
It's a good bit. I like the flower ones.
I mean, what can you do?
There's a girl on TikTok I follow where she'll buy like a Star Wars one and then she'll put the Star Wars movies on in the back and she'll like watch it while she's building it. And it's like almost like an ASMR where it's like,
yes.
But she'll be like, she'll watch 6 Star Wars movies and still not have that Lego piece done. I'm like, gotta restart the movie again. And it's like, it's a time lapse one. I don't know who she is, but she's really, really good. But that's how I get my Lego fix through her because I watch her build them.
Like,
and her content people are like, oh, we got to buy you a new Lego set so you can make more content. I'm like, that's what I need. I need people to support my habits. That's what
my hyperfixation
like for the figures. So I lost all of my childhood in a house fire.
Oh shit.
So like,
oh my God.
I never got rid of like my toys or my collectibles or like, and now I'm an adult and I'm like, I kind of wish I can go back and get my old stuff somehow.
Oh my God. I'm the same way, Anthony. Our neighbors set our apartment on fire and I lost all my stuff. And I remember, oh my God, I think about them to this day. I'm like, there was a blanket. It was like my favorite blanket. I didn't get that. I think about them. And then I think about Anthony. Also, I'm like, I should just go on eBay and buy them again. And just like heal my inner child because I miss them so much.
What was your favorite like toy that you had?
Oh my God. Okay. Well, honestly, the first one that comes to mind and the one that I'm always bummed about, and it's the one that I always think about. Okay. So me as a little gay boy, I loved Sabrina. I know I used to be a boy once. I love Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Great show.
Love Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And at one point she came out, there was like this, she didn't come out with it, but the bigwigs did, came out with a crystal ball. And when it spun, you used to ask it a question and it would spin and the lights in it would make the answer. When I had that I was Esmeralda. I was Esmeralda telling fortunes and with a towel on my head. I mean, I loved that damn crystal ball. I really and truly did. And I think about it all the time because I think I was most bummed about that because I think I just got it or didn't have it that long. And I remember it was expensive. It was like me getting it was a treat. So when I lost it then I was like, well, not getting another one of those anytime soon. So that sucks.
I was a Clarissa Explains It All kid. I loved that show.
Yes.
Yes. But mine, I don't know if this is way older. Like I wasn't even a teenager when this was a toy, but it was called like my pal monster, but it was like a big purple monster and he had big teeth and he had a football helmet and a jersey and a chain.
Yes.
I tried to find them online. They are dumb expensive.
Oh yes. Well, that's one thing too. I don't think the crystal ball is that expensive, but I'm trying to think of what I looked up and I was like, God damn. Like I did buy because when I was younger, I loved that they had these little I Dream a Genie figurines and they were like little Polly Pockets, but it was like the I Dream a Genie lamp.
Polly Pockets.
And it came with like a ROM or what is that called? Like the floppy disk. And I bought that off eBay. That's in our room, but I bought that off Yeah, see, it is on eBay. It is.
It's
I
for
just
$60. The crystal ball.
here. I don't know if
More stuff.
hey, I can clean out some of that back there. But no,
That could
you
be a
know
whole
what?
series. You could hit the button. You could put the towel on again. You could hit the button, and your listeners, your live listeners, can ask you questions. You can hit the scissor
People
ball.
do that.
Yeah.
People do that. They'll like roll a die and like tell an answer. Or I love the people that do lives on TikToks and they just write names. They're just like, oh, hi, Michael. And they'll just write their. You never see their face.
Oh my God.
It's just
I
their
watch
hands.
the people who play the tile game, where they play the tile game with
Yes.
the nails. I'll watch that for hours.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Yes. Yes. I want that tile game, but also I know I'll get it and probably just
Never play it. Never play it. Yeah, it'll just sit. It'll sit. You're like, who wants to play tiles? I'm like, we have things to do. I want to that's what I want to start doing more on the TikTok side of things is I like to watch videos and then we talk about them in the Discord or with people and they're like, why don't you make your reaction videos talking about the things you just watched? And I was like, I think I should that should be my niche. I think I'm pretty decent at it, but yeah, I don't it's wild. But let's give some more love to someone here on the channel. Someone else who's a very big part of your content, a very big part of who you are as a person. And let's talk about that time traveling Amish boy.
The all-American
time traveling Amish boy.
Okay, get it right.
Is he legit Amish? Is that a bit or is that no idea? Oh, I love it.
I don't know. We're me and the DEJ cult. That is one of our top missions right now. He doesn't know about it. It's top secret. It's behind the scenes. But whenever we pick up on something, we always write it down. We have a whole folder at the office at headquarters. And we are it's an open investigation. So
okay. I love how like he grounds you like he's your like the rod, like if in case I just hold on to my JB and I'm gonna be good to go. You know what I mean? I think you two together are just like if I'm not really into the energies or crystals or metaphysical. I want to believe it, but I struggle. But if there's a way that you could physically see two energies that are supposed to be together, it's used to.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because he likes my crazy. I like his calm. But believe it or not, JB is so funny. He is
very
he's that's one thing about him too. He's quick. He is even quicker than me when it comes to coming up with jokes. Like he is on it. I'm jealous of him. Sometimes my brain's like when I'm trying to like think of something. Him, it's just like quick. He's so funny. As like serious as he is, he's just awesome. But yes, he is the calm to my storm, and I'm the storm to his calm.
Yeah, I love when you're
lucky him.
And you turn the camera to him when he's not ready or like and he immediately rises. He's like,
yeah,
hey
there.
The JB Riz
hey
face.
There.
So what is what is your favorite JB dish?
Oh my God.
Fantastic cook. That's why I'm coming over. I gotta try some. What's for dinner? I need to come over for dinner.
And I honestly wish that would have caught on a little. I would love to see other people's rendition of that. I would love nothing more than to see other people do a what's for dinner. I think it would be so funny. I would love that. To pick his favorite dish, Anthony, it is so hard. It really and truly is. I mean, everything he makes is bomb, man. Like the
desserts get me. As a little chubby boy I am, boy, those desserts get me.
Oh my God. There's no shortage of desserts in our house, and there's no shortage of food. I mean, it's so hard. He's such a good cook, whether it's Mexican food, whether it's the bangers and mash, whether it's that man loves to cook, and you could tell he loves to cook. And it's so hard. I have to say that to you. And everyone always asks that. They're like, what's your favorite dish that JB makes? What's your favorite dish? And to be honest with you, it's so hard to narrow one down. It really and truly is. I mean, I love it. It's gonna sound silly, but I love his pork steaks because he makes like a really good onion cheese sauce on top of it. His crepe lasagna's banging. His French onion soup's banging. I mean, it's like asking me to pick like my favorite. I can't. It's too hard. It's too hard.
So very inspired. Here's where I find a lot of similarities with you is I love hearing other people's takes on music and movies and pop culture.
Okay.
Very inspired by pop culture, as you are as well. We talked a little bit about Sabrina and Clarissa and all that. What are some things currently right now, maybe you just recently watched or you're into that is in the world of Dante that you're obsessed about?
Well, I love rewatching something that I'm obsessed with now. Well, right now, and it's gonna sound silly, JB and I have started watching the TV show Pen 15. I don't know if you know what that is.
No, but I love Hulu. Everything about it already.
We started watching that.
Been a member of the Pen 15 Club a couple times.
I'm kind of obsessed with that. It's like these two grown women, but they play 13-year-old versions of themselves, and everybody else in the show is 13, but they're like tall, but they're supposed to be. It is comedy gold. It is amazing. And I rewatch a lot of stuff. Like right now, I'm rewatching. I rewatch a lot of stuff of people that I look up to. So I'll get in the mode of rewatching like old Lucy interviews, like Lucille Ball. Like I'll watch old interviews of her. Oh my god, like Joan Rivers stand up, Kathy Griffin stand up. I'm recently rewatching My Life on the D List because she's someone I love. Kathy Griffin, I love, so I'll rewatch those things a lot. But obsessed right now, probably that Pen 15 show. I want to keep watching it. Like JB and I were only able to watch 2 episodes tonight. Not that I didn't want to come on here, but we watched 2 episodes tonight. I was like, damn, I want to watch more. It's so good. I love a good comedy show. I love laughing. I love a good comedy show. I love the like Broad City duo where it's two
Broad City was really good.
Love Broad City. And this Pen 15 is kind of like that. So I like that woman buddy, comedy. So I'm obsessed with that right now. I'm watching that, and I would have to say I think about it a lot. So I would say I'm obsessed with that right now.
Or do you
mean in like news and stuff?
Oh,
or do you mean
anything in general? We'll dive more into it. We got some time here, but for me personally, I like the I rewatch The Office more times than I'd like to imagine. So I'm rocking. I don't know if you're an Office fan.
I am, but also
I'm wearing the kickball shirt. I'm wearing
see, okay. I have to say this. I like the Office, but I'm a Parks and Rec girly.
I love Parks and Rec too.
I love Parks and Rec. I love Parks and Rec. Like I've seen every episode of The Office.
Yeah, son, I need you to understand me real quick. I want to make sure you fully get this. When I say I want all of your bacon and eggs, I don't mean I want a lot. I want you to go in the back, and I want you to make me every single bacon and egg that you have.
I love Ron Swanson. I love, oh my God, love John Raffio, Mona Lisa, Leslie. I mean, of course, Leslie.
Who's the girl that was like really quirky and funny? She was. No, not Aubrey. The other girl, though, the one who was really, really crazy. That used to hang out with Aziz. With the curly hair.
Mona Lisa.
She
played Mona Lisa. John Raffio's sister. Yeah.
Yes.
Money, please.
She was good. So I get caught up, and also I love Always Sunny, because Always Sunny is that toxic growing up people who never age, and it's funny to look back and laugh at that.
I love Always Sunny.
Like a lot of people watch it. So here's what sucks is when people kind of make that stuff funny of like your past and who we used to be as a society. Some people think it's okay to relive that again, but even like the people who created Always Sunny are like, there's some old episodes that we were like, too far, you know what I mean? Yeah, because they're very like liberal and very like, they're progressive and they want everyone to have a fair shake, but they do a lot like they kind of latch onto that humor of like that old school toxic scumbag people of Pennsylvania, which I eat that up so much. Oh, Stacey has a good one. Bob's Burgers. all day long.
Yes, Bob's Burgers. Yes, I love Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers.
Mm-hmm.
So are you the same with movies as well? Is it like, do you like comedy movies?
I love
three desert island movies. Where are we at?
Okay, it's gonna. They're my top three: The Little Mermaid, Breakfast at Tiffany's, and Young Adult. I love Young Adult with Charlize Theron.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, she plays this like, and she does such a good job at it. Like, she plays this like popular girl who treats yourself. She plays this like popular girl who's a writer, and then she goes back to her hometown and goes after like her high school sweetheart, but has a baby on the way with his now wife. And Charlize Theron is amazing in it. Her performance is amazing in it. That's one of those movies I can watch over and over and over and over again. So probably those.
That might be in the list for an upcoming episode. We're gonna have.
Yes. I would love that. Please let me know. I would love that.
We'll do
Definitely.
That one. I've been actually like the podcast. I enjoy doing interviews, but I think I'm at a point where I think I'm gonna don't tone back the interviews and do more reviews and then make the interviews more special, because I think I let too many people on, and then sometimes I don't. It's not like I like to meet someone, connect with them, and be like, "Oh, this is gonna be a good interview." I let that, and I like when I met you, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a fun one." Like,
yes, oh my god, I'm so happy to be here. So happy to be here.
What we said, Breakfast at Tiffany's, very, very good. That's a great one. I'm a Breakfast Club guy. I love the Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah, of course, yes.
And another like chick flick one that I don't tell a lot of people I'm a huge fan of, but it's one of my favorite movies. I love 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh my god, of course. That's a classic.
That's a great movie.
A classic. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, that's the whole thing. That my top three, those are like movies like I watch.
And of course Rocky, because I'm a man. Rocky.
Love that for you. No, I mean, and to be honest with you, I think I've only seen the first Rocky. But with my top three, it's just like every year. I mean, I love The Little Mermaid because it's like the first movie I remember watching when I was little. Breakfast at Tiffany's, I just love the story, and I love Audrey Hepburn. So like every year I watch The Little Mermaid and Breakfast at Tiffany's on my birthday, so I watch both of those. And then Young Adult, I think Charlize Theron is she's just a knockout actress. I mean, her in Monster, God,
she did Monster too well. That was like, you go back and watch. I love documentaries too. I'm a documentary psychopath.
Me too.
They're like
anything on a cult. Give me a documentary on a cult.
Did you watch the one on Netflix? How to be a great cult leader? Yeah, so good.
I didn't watch it. Yet. But okay.
Yeah. I watched a documentary for like 3 days on hallucinogenic drugs, and I've never taken one in my life, but I was like, I'm interested. Let me sit down and watch a documentary on this. Like I watch about everything, true crime, this, that. If it's a documentary, I'm putting it on.
I love that.
But you have to be careful, because some documentaries sneak in on you and they're just pushing an agenda, and they make you think that everything they're teaching you is good. So you gotta, if you're an avid documentary watcher, you still also have to go do your research to make sure you're not being fed a whole bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean?
100%.
And then that's how you get red hats and think there's cues everywhere. Like, you got to be careful with documentaries.
Yes, 100%.
There's a cult leader and a follower. You have to be careful with the documentary.
I usually do documentaries like word of mouth, because like a lot of my friends like documentaries. So if they say to me, "Hey, Dante, you got to watch this," I'll be like, "Okay." Me searching one out, it's hard for me to search one out only because of that exact reason. I'm too nervous to start this. So if you were to like message me and be like, "Dante, you got to check this one out. It's so good." I'd watch it.
The program was good. The program was at school in New York. Oh
yes.
I think I knew someone who was in that thing.
Oh my God. Well, there was a bunch of them too. There was
a bunch of kids from Pennsylvania. Remember when that judge in Pennsylvania was shipping kids all over the place? I think they were involved in something like that too.
Yes, 100%. I remember that. Oh my God. That was a big deal.
Good thing I never got caught. You know what I mean?
Me either.
So I did meet you at a drag performance. Is that something you've ever done or participated in, or ever thought you would go into that realm?
Have I thought about it? Yes. But is it maybe one day, never say never, but it's kind of like, if I'm being completely honest with you, If the opportunity arose, I maybe would.
Because you can dance, you can move.
Thank you.
You can dance, but also you have the charisma. I think you would be fantastic at.
Classically trained. But
by Lucille Ball.
I know. I already know the song I would do. I don't know. It's by Chrissy something. And it's, I forget the title of it, but it comes on my playlist now. It's like, if I ever did drag, this would be my song. No, but I do appreciate the community. And I think, I love going to shows and all of that. And of course, they're in the umbrella of our community, drag queens, drag performers. And of course, they're in our community. So of course, I support them and all of that. But also, I would be nervous. Of course, I would be nervous. But if the opportunity ever arose, maybe.
It'd be fun.
Yeah,
I learned,
yeah.
It is so much like pro wrestling. It's disgusting.
Oh my God, I'm sure you can see the similarities. You can see them.
You kind of create a character and a persona, and then that character would respond to things differently than others. I'm like, this is everything I love in the world. I that's probably one thing I've been obsessed with my entire life more than anything is definitely pro wrestling. Like I am a pro. I tried so hard to get away from it at one point. And I was like, I want to be a part of it. I just love it. I love going to the shows and stuff. Yes, and that's another thing. The hair flips. Liz, I got great hair, but I can't flip it.
That was a lot of watching Britney Spears. I think my girl Britney Spears.
Oh, your Britney videos were really good too.
The
knives.
I love Britney Spears. My favorite thing that the only reason, Anthony, that I wanted long hair is so I could flip it like Britney Spears. That's the only reason I want long hair is so I can flip it. That's really it, to be honest.
I wanted long hair and chest hair because of pro wrestlers. I was like, I hope, like growing up to like, drink this, kid, will put hair in your chest. I'm like, I'm scarfing it down. I'm like, I'm gonna get a hairy chest.
I love our two worlds colliding, Anthony. I love this. Two ends of the spectrum, and we're just I love it.
Yeah, beautiful.
I wanted long hair because of Britney Spears. I wanted long hair because of pro wrestling.
I did get the chest hair though. I'm pretty proud of that. It worked. Whatever I drank, it was good to go. That Jack Daniels did it for me. Well, we are at that point too, where we're getting close to the end. I try to keep them there. I don't want to keep you all night. We gotta get back to 10:15. But let's open the chat up. Let's. Anyone have any questions? Please get them in the chat. And before I get into any of that, also, super chats have been absolutely bonkers. So thank you, Anastasia, for the 99, the $3, the $4. I'm not used to this. This is something that just happened for me. I just got partnered on YouTube. Yes.
Congratulations on 1,000 subscribers.
Well, the reason I'm even probably able to do so, I was like 50 away from 1,000, and when you made your post saying you were going to be here, your community flooded over and supported the channel, and it really put me over the top to get to this. So I really appreciate you and your community for doing that.
I have the most amazing community in the whole entire world. I honestly and truly do. I love my followers and my community more than anything. They get me. They're hilarious. They are supportive. They're positive, and I am so grateful and lucky for them every single day. I really and truly am. I love them so much.
I'm the same way with my community. When I went through my divorce and I had to move and I was trying to figure things out, and no car, no job, had to start at zero again. I had two of my members of the community, Anastasia and Raz, who are from Australia, who were like, "Hey, you always wanted to be in London, right?" I said, everything about my soul wants to be in London. And and I always wanted to go to Wembley Stadium. I'm a Queen fan. I love Elton John. I love that whole British rock scene.
Yes.
And I got to go see pro wrestling in Wembley Stadium, and I got to be in London for a week. And that was all because of my community. People are amazing, and they pick you up when you need them the most. But first one here is, my only question is, Dante, how did you get so fabulous?
I mean, I don't know. It just happened. It's just I don't know. Ask Jesus or God or something. I don't know.
I've been called podcast Jesus with this.
No, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I was raised by amazing women. I have to say that I was raised by amazing women who were all fabulous, and I wanted to be just like them. And I look up to amazing women who are fabulous. I look up to anyone who's fabulous. And I'm a big person, Anthony, where I watch people. I admire, and then I go off what they do. You know what I mean? So throughout my life, just if I saw someone wearing something and I was like, oh, I want to get something like that. Probably that's what I would equate it to. I remember going shopping with my aunt all the time when I was younger. You know, that's where I got my love of shopping. I always went shopping with her, and yeah, I was raised by fabulous women, and that's what I attribute being fabulous to. Is them.
Do you look at people like a Lucille Ball and people who like were such trendsetters, are so ahead of their curve, and you look at them and be like, yo, I know that their path sucked, and they probably at one point didn't realize they got their roses when they deserved it, but like somebody like Lucy changed culture, like changed the world, and and went against the grain. Like I love stuff like that. I love studying those things. Like Lucy's the first, she doesn't get credit for it, but she's the first interracial kiss on TV. But because Ricky was Spanish, it wasn't counted.
And she was the first pregnant woman on TV.
First pregnant woman on TV. First woman to own her own production studio. First woman to push the beds together on TV. Like she very pro LGBTQ at the time. Like she was ahead of the curve on that. Fantastic. I love that.
Yes.
I'm the same way. I study people and I'm like,
yes.
I look at a situation and I go, where people say, well, you're never going to change that. We're too embedded. And I look at it and go, not a chance. I'm going to change that shit.
Well, I like hearing people's stories of how they got here or how they got there. I'm a firm believer in that. I think you should pick somebody. And if someone, I always believed in pick someone whose life you want, and you might not get that exact life, but then emulate it and try to go on the same path they did. Or even with comedy, like I love physical comedy. So I look to like people like Amanda Bynes, Lucille Ball. How do they move their, or Jim Carrey is, I love him, but like how they move their faces, how do they, do this, fall or move around or use their whole body, like I love studying that part too of where they got to where they are, and those little things they do, like the little faces they make, or the little, like, how do they move their face like that? Or how do they fling themselves over here? Or how do they like scream, and I just love that. I love studying that. That's like that's why I rewatch so many of them, because I love seeing the people that I look up to and watching them over and over and over again.
I'm not as good as you are with the live chats. I lost like 3 of them. Do you like The Last Unicorn? I was somewhere here and I lost it. The chat is fantastic. I love it, but I'm still learning.
I have never seen The Last Unicorn.
I haven't either. I haven't even heard of that one, to be honest with you. I thought I was missing the boat on something, but now I have to look it up.
I know what it is, but I've never seen it.
Would you ever consider going to an indie wrestling event that ABJ is doing commentary at? Would you be a commentary partner with me? Would you call wrestling matches?
Yeah. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no.
Kill it.
I'm not going to say no. I do a guest with you.
Wrestler. So here's the thing. I think if we were to do it, the wrestlers would hate it because they're very critical on commentary, and you have to take their character serious. I don't do that at all.
Anthony, I wouldn't be able to. How's that? Yeah. I would not be able to take them seriously. No offense to them. I just wouldn't be able. I love them, but I don't take anything too seriously. So I wouldn't be able to. I'm also, that's another thing, Anthony. I'm a firm believer is that you got to make fun of yourself, man. You got you got to be in on the joke. Like you got to be able to make fun of yourself. You got to allow people to like, dig at you and, all those things. You have to, because nobody's and you're not perfect and nobody's perfect. And life's too, again, short to take things too seriously. You know what I mean?
This one here, question is, when do we get the Kool-Aid? What flavor would your Kool-Aid be? As two cult leaders here, what flavor are we going for?
Whatever. Let's go with blue.
Blue. Cherry's a go-to, right? But I feel like I like my grape too, but nobody else likes grape like I do. So I probably go cherry because it's the easy one. Not fruit punch though. Fuck fruit punch.
Not fruit punch. Probably the blue one. I forget what the blue one is though, but probably the blue one.
It's just blue. I don't think there's a flavor. I just think
okay.
Blue.
Just
yeah,
blue.
I think it's just blue. Yeah.
So you'd go with the red dye 40. You only okay. Good for you. That's amazing. Pulling out all the stops.
Where else would you like to appear or maybe travel to?
Oh my gosh. To be honest with you, Anthony, I haven't, I've only really been a couple places. I haven't really traveled that much. So I'm always just happy. if I'm going to put a pin in it, I've always wanted to go to London and Italy. I've always wanted to go to those two places.
Do London. London.
I want to go there. And we actually, speaking of, we have our passport papers on the kitchen table right there. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But
London's beautiful. It's
I'm sure.
It's as someone who is now opening up to pride and LGBT and that culture, going to like in America, it's like, so I went to my first Pride event shortly after meeting you, or before meeting you, and maybe it was. And I remember going, and it was a group of us, and I wore my Wrestling is Gay shirt, which is a wrestler named Effie, who is an openly gay wrestler, and he has a merchandise company called Wrestling is Gay, and all of the proceeds
I love that.
Sells, and all the proceeds for the shirts go to help, like, it's almost like the Trevor Project with displaced kids if they come into the family and they get kicked out, he gives the proceeds to that.
I don't mean to laugh at that part. I'm still laughing at the Wrestling is Gay.
The Wrestling is Gay. It's totally gay.
It's so gay.
It's so gay. It's the gayest thing ever. So I wore the shirt, and I wore actually I was gonna wear this is the headband I was gonna make. It was a sleeve of it. It was like colored like this.
Oh, love it.
Blue and pink.
Yes.
I don't know the colors of everything. I'm still learning. So I was wearing a bisexual shirt. All I know is if I ever change teams, Dante, I can pull some hot dudes, right? Like dudes, like dudes who I'm like, yo, you're a good looking guy, and like you're attractive. I'm like, my confidence was through the roof.
Oh,
I found out what a bear was. I'm that. But it was a great time. I love
Congratulations.
But when we went there, I was like nervous because there are shitty people in the world, and we live in a society in America where it's like you go to a large crowded place, and it's a place where people are trying to be themselves and just exist. And I was nervous of like shootings or people trying to hurt other people, and that's really scary to me. But like in London, like there's so much culture that's so pro like drag or these shows or all these things going around, and it's just like in London, like because of people like Freddie and Elton, and that culture was just like, it's not like it's anything different. It's just like you would just go in and just be a part of it, and I really love that about London. It's just like a melting pot of everything is just accepted for who you are and what you are, and that's what I really liked about London. I would go back in a heartbeat if I could.
Oh, well, I can't wait now. Now you have me all excited. I'm like, hell yeah.
Do you see yourself as a role model? Lily's helping me write stuff because I'm missing.
I thank you, Lily.
Who do you see as your role model, and how do you believe it made you the person you are today?
That is such a good question. I wouldn't say I have like one specific role model. I would have to say, I guess, to be honest with you, the people that I mentioned, probably the people that I look up to the most. My role model is probably, and it's weird to say, strong women. I love strong women. I love, again, Lucille Laval, Kathy, those are the people I grew up with and watched, and Amanda Bynes and all of that. So I don't have one specific role model, but I would say I have a whole bunch of that I got, that again, I pulled things from and kind of all of that, but one specific one, I can't really say one, but even some family members, like, my aunt, my mom, my grandmother, I really looked up to. My grandmother was a short, little, loud-mouthed Italian lady, and I loved her, every little bit of her, and she's someone I looked up to because she just truly didn't give a fuck. She really did. If someone cut her off in the parking lot, she might have been 75 years old and this tall, but she got out of her car and was saying like, what the F and this and that. And I was like, Nanny, you can't do, like, what am I gonna do? And you're yelling at this person across the parking lot, like, what am I gonna do? But then I look at her and I'm like, she just didn't care. Like, she didn't care. So I look up to her. I mean, again, probably a lot of because again, I was raised by women, so a lot of strong, just women is probably my role models. Family members, celebrities, comedians, stuff like that.
How do you handle disrespect or hate?
The saying I always go to: happy bitches ain't hating, and hating bitches ain't happy.
I always look at, and I know it's like super cliche, but if someone is going out of their way, especially on the world of social media, to make a fake account, to not put their face, not put their identity, just to make an account to go troll and hurt people's feelings and downplay people, I actually feel more sorry for them that they hate their existence so much they have to hide behind a personality to hate others. And I don't get offended by it, because like I always I want to be on the same level as everybody, but those people are not on the same level as me. And if they're going out of their way to make a fake account to go harm other people, like, I hope you find happiness. I really hope you find something to.
I always say the same thing. And actually, real quick, someone in the chat reminded me, I look up to one of the people I really do look up to, and actually they reminded me is, sorry, I couldn't think of, but Dolly Parton. I love Dolly Parton. I love how charitable she is. I love what a good person she is. I love how she accepts everybody. I look up, I want to be like Dolly Parton. I want to help people. I want to, again, leave this earth making sure I did all the good I possibly could. And she's someone I look up to. But getting back to the hate and disrespect is, like I said to you before, Anthony, the only person's opinion of me that matters to me is my own. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it. I don't care what people say about my voice, my teeth, my hair, anything. I don't really care. They're so not important to me. I lay my head down on my pillow great every night. Why would I care what like a freak thinks about me? Some unhappy person that gets off on like trolling people online. That's how you get off? You want to know how I get off? I have a beautiful house. What? Ew, stop flirting with me, Anthony. Lily is right behind you. But you want to know how I get off? I get off by making people happy. I get off by spending time with my husband in my beautiful house, in my home, around people that love me, and my group of friends that love me and support me, and my family that loves me and supports me. That's how I get off. So you get off on that. That is I feel so bad for you. Like, I feel so bad for you that in my spare time, I'm hanging out with my husband and my friends and my family and doing things I love and making people smile and laugh. In your free time, you're getting on your phone and going and being a troll to people. How sad is that?
It sucks for them. It really does.
Oh my God. What
they're
weirdos.
They're not enjoying the world.
Anthony, let me ask you this. Do you ever comment on people's things or go in lives and say mean things or bring,
Yes, I do. But only.
This was a nice podcast. Thank you for having me.
Sometimes I go past some of those red hat streams and I troll a little bit. I
think, I'm not saying some people don't deserve it.
I don't troll, but I just do the I put a mirror up. You know what I mean? So my comment is more like, oh, imagine you hate someone for something you don't understand. But they don't really get a lot of my jokes when I say it via keyboard, because they've already fell down a rabbit hole because of their mind state they're in. So they're not going to understand my dig at them. You know what I mean? But I think that's the best place to put a pin in it here. We got to do this again.
Yes, definitely.
We'll definitely touch base again and maybe do some movie reviews and stuff like that.
I would love it. You just let me know and I'm there. You just let me know. I'd love to.
I know this has been said a million times in the chat and a million times in your TikTok lives and all your social medias, but I want to truly say that you have inspired me to look at things differently and approach things differently and be confident in who you are as a person and your energy. A good podcast for me is like a really good date, right? And sorry, Lily, but it's a really good date, and it's soul searching. Like it feels like you got that, how you said you're very empathic, so you like how you feel like a lot of people draw energy from you and it drains you. I feel the same way a lot too. So it's really nice when you're able to get a vibe or energy from someone else and it fills your cup, because it's hard to find those people that can give you that energy you need. And this podcast was everything I needed for that.
Well, real quick before we end it, I just want to say one thing that I've learned by being yourself and being your truly authentic self and doing what you want to do. And this goes out to all my people out here too. And doing what you want to do is when you find something that you do that you love and you're filling your own cup, you attract those. You don't get me wrong, you attract those bad people too, but you attract so many good people. and you start being able to weed out those people that don't really have good intentions or loyalty or stuff like that, and you hold those ones that do closer. So I think what you're doing is wonderful. I think you branching out is a wonderful. I love it, and I wish you nothing but the best. And I'll be watching, I'll be seeing you and stuff. And
I always join the lives. I always pop in and say hi.
But yes, I mean, this is great, and I would love to do it again. And you got this, dude. I was saying to JB, you're so personable, you're so kind, you listen to people. You're a very good conversationalist, and I think you're gonna go far, my friend. I really and truly do.
Well, let's go change the world together. All right.
Yeah!
Let's get it done. And let's use our amazing cult leader abilities and bring our people with us, and let's change the world for positive. I love all of you for being a part of this. I really want to say that this is the most watched live stream I have ever done in 6 years. The engagement, the content, everything has been beautiful. I appreciate you all so much. And if you guys become pro wrestling fans again because of this, I love you too. But no, seriously, where can people find you? Where can people support? Sorry. One of your moderators has an awesome name today, and I said I'm going to wear this at one point in the podcast. This is my Rusty Wallace jacket I was telling you about.
Someone just said, "Let's make the world a little bit more queer." I'm down.
I'm cool with that.
Let me.
Yeah.
Oh, Rusty. Yes.
Yeah, this is the Rusty jacket. So Rusty, your moderator. Great name. So I
love Rusty.
There's my Rusty jacket right there.
And that's one thing I want to say in this chat too before we go. I love my moderators. Thank you for keeping my lives positive, safe, a safe space for everybody. Because I see Joni here. I see a couple of you here. Candy kisses. For keeping my chat safe and keeping it a positive space for everybody. And that's one thing too. Is I also try to weed those people out in my lives or anything like that. Like if you're coming in here to be a piece of shit, move it along. You know what I mean?
Thanks for the engagement. I appreciate
it.
Yeah. Where can people find and support you?
Oh, sorry. Mostly TikTok. I'm going to be getting back on YouTube hopefully by this summer. Instagram. The places I'm most active on are number one, TikTok. Second would be Instagram. I do have a Twitter. All of them are Dante James with 2 E's in the James. So Jamees. But the most active ones are TikTok, Instagram, probably Twitter. I'm on Facebook, but like Facebook scares me. So like, I don't really use it that much anymore. And that's it.
I love it. Before we get out here, just want to plug some stuff. I'm always live throughout the week doing hangouts where we watch wrestling, but those conversations go all over the place. Just did an episode 2 days ago with my buddy Charles, who owns his own horror company where he makes t-shirts and art prints for a lot of cool people. And we reviewed the movie Evil Dead Rise, which I loved. Spoiler alert, go watch it. But I'm still trying to find myself. Movie. I love the Evil Dead franchise.
Me too.
I'm also a huge Chucky fan. And
me too.
I found out recently that the guy who created and wrote and does Chucky is a part of the community, and I didn't know that.
Yes, Don Mancini. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't. So I watched the first episode of the TV show, and when the kid's like, you know I'm gay, and he's like, yeah, man, I have a kid that's non-binary, and he's like, oh, and he goes, what do you think I am, some kind of monster?
Yes, yes. Well, like, I mean, also look at Tiffany. I mean, Tiffany's a gay icon. I mean, yes, so if that doesn't
very much so.
Listen, I love Chucky, but I will actually want to get on my arm somewhere like a heart with Tiff in it, because I love Tiffany. I love Tiffany, but yes, me too.
Am I allowed to show the logos? Are you cool with that?
You can show whatever you want.
All right. So Dante has a lot of merchandise that flows through in different variations. And I always get Barbie vibes from Dante. And then I found out that Dante really loves Hello Kitty as well.
Yes.
Maybe Breakfast at Tiffany's, a few other ones maybe we'll throw at you as well.
Love
but we did make a special logo for Dante that they will be using for their upcoming merch line. So this is the first one.
Look at that. Love it.
And this was made by Lily over here. We'll give her some love.
Thank you, Lily.
She's wearing her nun Black Crafts hoodie. I love. What is this? What does the back say? Hold on, I'll turn the mic on. Go ahead.
So it says, I'm sorry I missed church today. I was busy practicing witchcraft and becoming a lesbian.
There it is.
That sounds like a better time to me. So
Yeah. And then the Hello Kitty Dante logo.
Hello Kitty.
So there they are. So that's what we're trying to
it.
do is when guests come on, we try to, if they do movie reviews and stuff like that, we send them something that they can use for themselves. And I will say it is the most I had a hard time picking a thumbnail for this one. We made 4 of them. Look at them all. Like
Gogina.
So it was
This one was my favorite though. I stuck with that one.
That's the jacket I'm wearing.
Yes.
I actually wore this. Another reason why I wore this, Anthony, is because I've worn this. I have so many good memories in this jacket, and I wanted to make this one of them. So that's why I wore it. So it was so hard.
I appreciate it. And thank you all once again so much for coming through. Check out cool content.
Yes.
Hit that subscribe if you haven't done so already. And once this airs and it's out, this will also be available on all podcast platforms. So if you're on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever it may be, head over and subscribe and show love to the ABJ podcast on those as well. It's funny. I am considered a wrestling podcast of what I do. And then I had my buddy on who lived in Taiwan for a while. And we talked nothing about wrestling, but when I had him on and did the interview, he had a bunch of people from Taiwan who listened, and it made me the #1 wrestling podcast in Taiwan.
Oh.
So whatever works, right?
First of all, how random.
Yeah, it was awesome. I got an alert being like, congratulations, you're #1 in the country of Taiwan for pro wrestling. And I was like, I'm taking it. No, you can never take that away from me. I've been #1 in the country.
Yeah, take what you can get, my friend. I got a PR box from Poppy, and I can swear it was just like a leftover holiday one that I got a couple weeks ago. And I was like, you know what? Even if it was just like the last one laying around, I'm going to take what I could get. I take what I could get.
I love it. Well, listen, we'll get out of here and we'll see you soon. Everyone soon. You'll see Dante on all social media. The links are below to follow them on all their adventures, buy merchandise, support all that fun stuff.
Yes.
And I'm sure we'll both wake up tomorrow again.
Can't wait to wake up again.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. Here's some music by the Converse Kid. We're out of here.
Love you guys.
Thanks for watching this presentation. Like, share, and subscribe for more.